without amazing Brittany reminding me. So we're looking at EAQQS. And what I want you to do is I want you to put a check after you've read each line in the announcement. So just put a check, and especially that first one, go to Google Classroom and read the stream before you check it. Great job, Brittany. Good, Jonathan. Love it. Good, Lynn. Good, Manuel. Good, Yair. Just going through and checking each one as we read them. Good, Hasey. You're a fast reader.
Mister.
Yeah.
What if we uploaded our pictures on Google Classroom?
That makes sense why I couldn't find them. Google Classroom is a place for me to make announcements. But so that like we're all trained, I just want us to always use those student pages in OneNote, so that we all know where to put things. Does that make sense, Giovanna? Like I know that lots of your other classrooms are probably using Google Classroom for everything, but for math, it just doesn't work well because there are times where you might need to put something in there. But if I have to go to two different places, I'll always be getting it wrong. So if you've put it in Google Classroom, can you just move it over to that student OneNote? I'll check again, but that's where I'm looking for everything. Are you putting lots of stuff, Giovanna, in Google Classroom?
Yeah, I've been putting everything there.
Okay, that's fine. Like, I totally get it. I don't want you to have to go through a bunch of work to move it, but I want us to always put things in OneNote for a math class.
All right, thank you, Mister.
No, thank you for letting me know. And if that's the case for anybody else, just try to make that switch over to OneNote so that I can, I'll be much better about my grading if I only have to look one place. Yes, Jonathan.
So for the homework that like you assign like daily,
yes,
is it like due like on a Wednesday if you assign it like Monday, Tuesday, or if you assign it like after a Wednesday, is it due like on a like Friday or Sunday?
So I'll always try to say in Google Classroom when I'm expecting it. That's why I use Google Classroom, because in there I can easily say 9-3 homework, Thursday, 8 a.m. or whatever. Typically, if it's just like a daily thing, I want you to have tried it before the class the next day. That way, like you've tried it, and I'm not grading most of these for correctness. I'm grading them for effort. So if you can't do all of it, but you've tried it and you got like, oh, I got to the last one and I couldn't do it, you're going to get full credit, because that way you come to class ready to be like everything you could do. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does. Mm-hmm.
And if I can get in a cadence where I can think out ahead of time, I'll make a place in the OneNote where I can have a key so that as you're doing it, you can check the key. Oh, I'm right. Great. Oh, I'm wrong, but I see why. I'm going to need people to not just go to the key and copy it over, because that's not going to help anybody. So maybe I'll do like a partial key where I do every other one or something. I'm still trying to work out what I want that to look like. And you guys can weigh in with, oh, Mr. Heffron, a full key, that would be amazing. No, I think I might cheat and I wouldn't learn as much. Like if you can tell me those things, that'll make it really good because I can do what would be best for you guys in the end. Let me just see, take a picture of who's not here. Okay. So I think you've asked lots of great questions. Again, hopefully you saw in the posting on Google Classroom, I'm not like everything that's in by Sunday will be full credit. So if you've been putting things in Google Classroom, just take a little bit, move it over to OneNote, and I'll be checking again. And then I'm going to share with you where we're going to go and what we're going to do the rest of class. I've loaded tonight's homework in your student page and in the collaboration space so that I can go somewhere and help when people decide they need help. And so what I want you to do is I want you to go into your student page, and if you're doing things on paper, after you finish a particular problem, take a picture and upload it. But in a perfect world, if you have a stylus, just do it right there, because that way I can see your work as you go. If you have a question on it, say, oh, question mark on 4. And as soon as I see a thumbs up or two, I'll know that you're not the only one. And I'll go to the collaboration space and explain, or we'll have a dialogue on where you're getting stumped on that one. And so I'm going to go to the OneNote. Get to the right class. I'm just going to open Cesar. I'm already in his. So the last tab says 9.3 homework. This is his first question. This is everybody's first question. You should start with this one. I will work on putting a key somewhere where you can see it to check yourself to know if you're right. Cesar's already started. We can see his work. Everybody should do that right now and then use the chat for help. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay, go for it. I'm going to be locating the key and moving out of Cesar's space so that he doesn't have to broadcast his work to everybody.
Mr. Heffern, I can't find the tab.
Tell me more. In your student page, you can't find the tab?
Yeah.
It's possible, but I think it's there. I'm going to look in your student page here and see if I can see it. It's at the very bottom. It says 9.3 homework.
I sent a picture of what my OneNote looks like.
In the chat?
Mm-hmm.
So I wonder, Brittany, if it might make sense for you to close out of OneNote and open it up again. I wonder if it's not syncing somehow.
Okay.
Because if it shows up in mine, it means it's there. For this homework, it'll be the same picture or the same base for everything. Good, Adam. Brittany, were you able to find it?
Yeah.
Okay. Good, Cesar. Your first one's right, Cesar, but check the key to make sure. The key is now in the content or the content library. Good picture there, Jonathan. You're doing good. For those of you that haven't started, either you're just totally stumped. If that's the case, you should put something in the chat, or you're doing it on paper, which is fine. But there will be a lag till I can kind of give you any feedback. Nia, one thing, I want you to think about what your radius is. Think about what that radius is.
Mister, I have a question.
Did you put it in the chat?
No, I'll put it in.
Put the question number so that other people can say, oh, I have a question on that too, or not. Is it number 1, Stephen, or Jonathan?
Yeah.
So put 1 with a question mark in the chat. Stephen, that looks great. Nicely done. If other people want to talk about number 1, you should thumb up Jonathan's piece in the chat. Okay, looking good, Nia. So what I'm going to do now is you can keep working, or I'm going to go to Jonathan's number 1. And Nia, especially, I want you to follow along.
Mister, I wrote my volume down for it, but for some reason it's not. Oh, never mind.
I see it. So here's my question. This is first I'm going to ask Nia something because of what I saw in his work. Nia, do you see this 2 minus square root of x that Jonathan has for the radius?
Mm-hmm.
To me, that looks like on the picture, hey, upper minus lower would be 2 minus square root of x. That would be what he's thinking about for radius. Is he right?
I think you have to divide it by 2 again.
What do you think, Jonathan?
Well, that was gonna be my question, because I know you have to divide it by 2, but I like took out the pi over 2, and I was wondering if that's still like correct, or if I would need to put the whole thing inside the integral.
So let's talk about this pi over 2. The pi over 2 I'm highlighting on my screen. That's really because we have a half circle, isn't it? So does that pi over 2 have anything to do with the diameter being, or radius being half the diameter, or are they different?
Different?
Yeah, because if I have a half circle, this is pi r squared. A half circle is pi r squared over 2, but in any case, the diameter is d, and the radius is d over 2. So this r equals 2 minus square root of x, that's really your diameter. How do I make it into a radius?
You have to divide it by 2.
Exactly. So
Mhm.
your radius will be 2 minus square root of x, all divided by 2. Nia, does that help you?
Yeah.
And Jonathan, is that better for you?
Yeah, thank you.
Did anybody else, because they were kind of watching in the background, did that help anyone else besides those two? Just raise your hand if that also helped you. Okay, thank you, Hasey. Thank you, Lynn. Good, Brittany. Good, Adam. Okay, this is a way I think we can use this collaboration space. I'm just going to leave Jonathan's work up here so that you can sort of see it as you work on your own, and I'll be watching the chat for the next question. Brittany, while I leave this up for other people for just a minute, I want you to do your best picture. Just do what you think, and I'm going to go to your page in a minute. All, if you want Jonathan's work here as you think about your own work, you might take a picture of it with your camera in the next 10 seconds. And then I'm going to go move to Brittany's page. Okay, Brittany, let me find your page. Brittany, you didn't draw anything. Oh, yeah, you did. You did. Sorry about that. Okay, I love it. You are partly right, partly wrong, but it's exactly what I want. This is a great start. Brittany, do you see how it says with one leg perpendicular to the y-axis?
Yeah.
So I'm going to draw a line that I think is perpendicular to the y-axis in black. You see how that makes a 90-degree angle with the y-axis?
Yeah.
How do you need to adjust your triangle to make it so that one leg is perpendicular to that y-axis? Perfect. That's great. I'm going to draw another one on your drawing. It looks like it's not perpendicular, but I just draw it like that to make it kind of more 3D. And I'm going to draw one more, one of the small ones down toward the bottom. Which sides are equal, Brittany? Because it's an isosceles right triangle. Which sides are equal?
I don't remember. The two sides.
Like which two though? Because every triangle has a
the opposite adjacent or something.
like. I'm gonna draw an arrow to one. Oops. Is that one of the sides that's equal, or is that that one different?
It's different.
Yeah, this is the hypotenuse. So it's, I'm going to put little tick marks. I've put red tick marks on the sides that are the same. So now your picture is good.
Okay. Is that all we need to draw for?
That's all I would need.
Oh.
Because as I look at this now, I hope, like, I can see my volume is going to be an integral of area times dy in this case. Because can you see how these are all going to
Oh
be
yeah.
dy thick?
Mm-hmm.
And so all I really need to know is, hey, how far is this base? What's an equation for that base?
Why?
Isn't it measured in the x direction though? Like it needs to be in terms of y, but I think it's measured in the x.
Mm-hmm.
Jessica, are you working with us? Or are you on your own page? Like, are you working independently?
I'm working independently, mister.
Okay. Casey, are you with us or are you independent?
I'm also independent.
Okay. Is there anybody else working with Brittany and I?
I was following you guys.
Okay. Nia and Jonathan, do you see how we've got two different points? We've got a point on the right. I'm going to call it x right. And a point on the left. I'm going to call it x left. That's really the distance that is the base of the triangle. Do you guys know what x left is and what x right is?
X right would be the square root of x, like that graph in
Okay,
light blue.
that's right. But it needs to be measured in x, not y.
Mm-hmm. So you would have to square both sides, and then it would be y squared.
That's right. X would equal y squared. That's what x on the right is. Nia, what's x on the left?
Is it the same thing?
It's not. It's the y-axis.
Oh,
You see how we're going from the curve over to the y-axis?
oh yeah.
What's the equation of the y-axis?
X equals 0, so just
right.
0.
Just 0. So as I think about my base is really equal to x on the right minus x on the left, or y squared minus 0. Now, what's the area of an isosceles right triangle, Brittany?
Not sure.
Isn't it 1/2 base
Base
times height? But since the base and the height are the same because it's isosceles,
Oh.
it's just 1/2 base times base.
Mm-hmm.
That's where we get our volume. We're going to go from 0 to 2, and we're going to have 1/2 base squared, but our base is y squared minus 0.
Mister, why is it squared again?
Because the area of a triangle is 1/2 base times base.
Oh.
Or
Oh,
one.
is it not base times height?
It is base times height, but isn't this an isosceles right triangle?
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So that's the sneaky part of these, is getting the geometry right. So we've got two different squareds. This squared is coming from 1/2 base times base. The other squared came from solving y equals square root of x for x.
Are we supposed to remember the areas, or will we be given like a paper?
You're supposed to remember 1/2 base times height. A rectangle is base times height. A circle is pi r squared. Those are the biggies. But I don't think those three are too much to remember, or half of this one, right? If we cut a circle in half, we've got to cut it all in two.
What about equilateral right triangles or
So
something? I saw something like that on Khan Academy.
you did really quick, like when I think about this is a 60, 60, 60 or equilateral. What that means is if I cut this in half, this makes this a 30, 60, 90 triangle, making this x, 2x, and x, radical 3 as your side lengths. So that's one thing to remember as well. Do you remember your special triangles, Brittany?
No.
Okay. Well, the nice thing is once you kind of write them down, you can have them because we're online, right? So I can't like tell you can't have this resource page you've created for yourself because you can make it. But that would be a good one to make if you struggle with areas. And
Yeah.
I think we're all 4 minutes late getting out of this class, and I apologize, but like you're here because you're trying, and that's great. I'm going to be in office hours from 4 to 5 today and tomorrow. Hopefully you saw those invites come through. So if you need extra help, please join me at that time. And I also have office hours from 3 to 4 for regular calc. So if nobody comes to those, I will put in this chat, hey, I'm done early. I can help you guys if you want. And just reach out to me and we'll start early for anybody who can make it and is interested.
Mr. Are office hours like in the same BC Calc call, or is it?
No, there's a different office hours call, and I put that in the Outlook invite so that A, B, and BC can join at the same time.
I don't think I got it. Do you think you can?
Yeah, I'll take a look. As soon as I'm done with my classes, I will totally look at that. I'm sorry, Jonathan, if it didn't make it to you, or maybe I thought I did something that I didn't.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, we should all go. I'm sorry. Calculus is not meant to be done in 25 minutes, but I think this was a good start. And on Tuesday, we'll check in on how did this process go. You know, some people working independently, some people getting help, and we'll check in to see how it went.
Bye, Mr.
All right,
Heffron.
bye, Mr.
Bye, Hasey.
Bye,
Bye,
Mr.
Mr. Thank
Bye,
you.
Ivana. Bye, Nia.
Heffron.
Bye, Adam. Bye, Cesar. Bye, guys.